Hey everyone, welcome to 118. For today's video, we're actually going to be looking at the exquisite mini aliens crouching alien warrior. This is from Hiya toys. They've been doing a lot of awesome 118 scale alien predator marine style stuff. And so this is a newer release of the crouching alien. I think the reason it is called the crouching alien is because there's some specifics done to the sculpt in order to give it an easier pose for crouching. And yeah, here's the box that it came with. There's really not much actually, except when we do look at the two pictures here, the way the head is in this one and the way it's crouching in this one, you can't actually get that specific pose. There's some limitations, and I will get to that in a second. But I think those are completely minor gripes because at the end of the day, this is an awesomely detailed action figure. In the box, it came with this stand. This is kind of typical for the Hiya action figures. There's different ones for the aliens and the predators, but they also come with connector pieces so you can connect them together. I love that. In fact, the Fortnite figures do that as well. They don't always come with those stands that are, it's like the mats from Fortnite, and some of them have a peg stand, some don't, but they connect. They all connect. And depending on what kind of pack you get, like a Loot Llama or some other pack, you're going to have a whole bunch of them left over, or at least I do. But also it came with 2 extra hands, which is very awesome. I think having extra hands is awesome, especially when it comes to 6-inch action figures, but to have it on these scaled action figures is amazing. All right, and to kind of get a look at the alien here, because I'm going to go through articulation, you can kind of see when it comes to the sculpt how the head is. So there's not much movement when it comes to the head, unless I just haven't unlocked it, but it does actually go back quite a bit. I think that's kind of the purpose of it for crouching, because even though, again, there's not much articulation there, the abdomen would go forward a little more. You can pop the head back so it could do its crouching pose, which I'll kind of show that here in a second. But another cool feature with this is, and I'm glad it works well and it's not loose yet, though, is the jaw. You can open it, and then you can also have the little mouth come out that's in it, which is amazing. I'm a huge Aliens fan, so this is like really my type of thing right here, completely. But to kind of look at articulation, again, we saw the head is kind of limited. You can kind of see in the neck, just has a little bit of movement here. And again, maybe I can move it around more, but I don't want to break these. Some of the older Hiya toys seem to look like they'd be able to break more, but this actually seems sturdier than most. And again, it's a recent release. But with the arm here, we can see that moves up, the elbow, and it rotates here. If you look real closely, I mean, that's like a tiny, tiny joint there. I could see that breaking easily. And in fact, doing a pose like this, not only is this a good crouching alien, but it's a cool, like, leaping, jumping alien. So I really think there's a lot you can probably do with this crouching one as opposed to the non-crouching, which I don't have, but I will have for another video. And then at the hands, we have a little bit of rotation. And then taking off the hand, we can kind of see where there is this ball joint. And it's got some movement. It's kind of limited, but at least the movement's there. So if I was to add the other hand on, which I'm honestly scared I would break this thing, but I did get it on, we can kind of see the difference with the hand. It looks like really just the difference is the finger kind of sticking out. It's a little more dynamic, and this is more relaxed. That's fine, I guess. That wasn't too big of a deal, really. But, you know, with the hand plugged into the ball joint, we don't get that much movement anyway. And so that kind of leads me to this next part. And actually, let's look at the legs, because that will get me to that next part. So, yeah, here in the abdomen, there, it's a nice tight joint. Okay, I think I got some more out of the back, but it doesn't seem to be doing too much, and it does turn. I wouldn't turn it too much. But if we go down to the legs here, it looks like it does have that option we see with 6-inch figures where it can drop down. That will allow you to get more of a pose out of it, and I think that's kind of the purpose with the crouching. So yeah, if we were to mimic that, we would see the leg comes out here. The knee, it's a double jointed knee, but it does stop. In the photos on the package, it looks like it's a little closer, but I don't want to bend that too much, but it really doesn't go that far. And when we get down to the foot, I don't want to mess with the foot too much. I almost feel like I'm going to break it, but it looks like it's a hinge that you just kind of have to work out, actually. I guess I haven't moved this one too much, but the toe moves forward quite a bit, so you can really get it walking like you would expect the alien to do so. Okay, and to kind of pull off that crouching pose that this is supposed to be for, One of the things was getting the leg kind of all the way, or the knee kind of bent all the way, and you can't really do that. I mean, you can still get it crouching, but even with the abdomen, the leg not being able to go all the way, the abdomen not going all the way back, actually, that's a lot better right there. But the purpose is you're supposed to get this hand going forward, although it will just come off if I try to move it forward. I'm just going by the pictures. But when you kind of move them down like that, you can still get a good pose, but it's not what it looked like from the photos. So I would have to compare it to the other alien or the xenomorph to really get an idea. But I really think it's just how this head is that allows it to make a better crouching pose. One other thing I don't want to forget, because this is awesome, is the tail. It's a bendy tail, which I think is the best idea. I have the SH Figure Arts, the 6-inch Xenomorph, the alien warrior from AVP, and that thing just falls apart all the time. But this being a bendy one is probably the perfect idea. It can probably help also with posing. Like if you want to get it in a certain pose, and you can kind of use the tail to help with that. Or if you just want to do something completely dynamic that you weren't expecting. But I guess you can kind of see where even if you push it forward, it will come back. So you kind of got to play with it a little bit. And you can actually get some cool stuff out of it. And again, this is like $20 to $25 around. I forget exactly how much, but I will say, this is completely worth it. I mean, the detail is amazing. Articulation is amazing. If it wasn't for it being called a crouching alien, and from the pictures on the back, I guess the only complaint would be that it doesn't really do exactly what it's supposed to do. But I think having an alien warrior xenomorph with this dynamic of a head really helps when you have a whole bunch of other ones. And to kind of show off scale, to get an idea, I'll do this in another review, but I actually have the power loader. So you can kind of see the scale to that. It works out perfectly. Just wish I had a Marine I could put in the power loader. But, I mean, that works out well. And also, I have that 6-pack of eggs. And so here is an alien egg and a face hugger. You can kind of get an idea there of what to expect. And also, just for fun, here is a 4-inch Fortnite action figure. Probably a little... No, that would probably be a good size, I guess. I think the Fortnite figures seem to be a little chunky. I tried fitting Jonesy into the power loader, but he couldn't get in where his legs were. But I think it's kind of that unique, exaggerated design Fortnite has, where the things are a little chunkier in certain places than they would normally be. And also, to round it off, here's that Jazzwares 4-inch Master Chief. This seems to be an awesome size comparison to the Xenomorph. Seems to make sense. Also, the Marvel Universe Hasbro Advanced Suit Spider-Man from the PS4 game. One thing about this is I think these Marvel Universe figures have been a little iffy with their scale. This is probably a taller Spider-Man than would normally fit in the 1/18 among some of these. But in general, it still works. It's really a lot of fun. Well, anyway, that is the 1/18 Hiya Toys Xenomorph, the crouching alien warrior. Please let me know what you think in the comments, like and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll talk later.